just listening to what you just said formed some questions in my mind.
Okay.
Like my department, we try to educate and inform the residents on how ordinances or laws or statutes work, right? So it seems as if you can read what you have in the law, but it has to be interpreted. So that's a lot of what you do as an attorney, correct?
Yes.
So
And there's rules. When you're reading a law, there's rules of interpretation and stuff that you will find in case law and stuff. And one of the things is the law retroactive? So ordinances or statutes, they can be retroactive, or which means certain laws, when they pass, they can apply to something that's happened back. Most laws are only prospective. And if you're going to make something go backwards, then you need to be explicit about it. If it isn't explicit, then it's only proactive. And it's because if it goes backwards, it's an ex post facto law.
can you give me an example of one probably we've done in the city of Enid that we retroactively went backwards in?
Okay.
And does that grandfather people back then, or it say, look, how does that work?
When they decided that they were going to regulate livestock, one of the things that they wanted to do, and then they ended up trying to do it even though I told them that they couldn't do it, is that they tried to say, you have 6 months to get rid of your animals. Now, one of the things is that, good or bad, most of these people, they were pets, and they weren't really livestock. But the only laws in the state of Oklahoma at that point, because that was quite a while ago, is livestock. So livestock is a use, and uses are you can change, and you can say in R2, you are not allowed to have a horse in R2. You know, if it's residentially zoned, you cannot have a horse. But because livestock, farming, etc., is a use, they couldn't tell them. In one of the ordinances, they said, you have 6 months to get rid of your animals and stuff. But it's grandfathered because it is a use. If a use is a property right, it goes all the way back to Old England, and you can't do that for uses. So for another example, we have subdivision rules. And in our ordinance, it says, and I can't remember the date, but it's something like 1998 or something. It was last century. But we've got subdivisions that are really old. And so we've got a section at the very beginning of, I think it's Title 12, and it's all these subdivision rules, you know, like the depth of pavement, you know, what kind of mailbox, you know, all sorts of things. It says at the very beginning, for subdivisions that were developed after the date, and the date there is the date of when we passed Title 12, which has all these depth of this, width of parking lots, all the things that most modern subdivisions have. But for most of the east part of town, it doesn't apply because they were developed beforehand. So for instance, they've got the alleys, and there's good reason for that, because some parts of town, they don't have a driveway, or there are parts of town that were developed and there were no driveways. And other parts of town where there is a tiny driveway and it's shared by 2 houses.